You have been told as a man that your masculinity, the very quality that sets you apart from being a woman, is toxic. Toxic to yourself, toxic to the people around you, and just downright poison. But is your masculinity really a disease that needs eradication, or is it a beautiful thing that needs guidance? Are your instincts to fight and be a leader just some birth defect causing mass harm to society? These are all good questions to ask, but before we can answer them, I think we need to ask ourselves who is allowed to answer them. And for that, we look to the author of masculinity, the God who created the heavens, the earth, and everything in it, including man and woman. The Bible says in Genesis 1:27 that God created both male and female in his own image. God created two distinct genders that were both equal in value, but having distinct roles. God created man to be manly, and he placed this manly man called Adam in a garden and told him and his wife to be fruitful and multiply. And he told them both to subdue the earth and have dominion over every living thing on it. So far, none of this is toxic at all. We don't really see anything toxic until Adam eats the fruit from the one tree that God told him he couldn't eat. After that, he proceeded to blame his wife for giving him the fruit and blame God for giving him the woman. My point is that there was nothing toxic about the man, just the way that God created him. The toxin enters the situation when he deviates from God's plan for him. Our masculinity isn't toxic in and of itself. Our masculinity only becomes toxic when we attempt to create our own version of it, when we believe our ways are better than God's, and thus we behave a certain way even though it's in opposition of God's will for our lives. This certainly is toxic, but it isn't masculine at all. It's not feminine either. It exists in an entirely different category, and it's called sin. Sin is the real toxin. Sin is what's wrong with men, not their God-given masculinity. When you see a man take advantage of a woman or abuse a child or put others down for his own gain, he's not being masculine. He's living in sin. We do have a problem as men, but it's not our masculinity. And it's not solved by being less masculine, but on the contrary, being more masculine. And again, we need to look to the author of masculinity to tell us what that even entails. So what does the Bible actually say about how men should behave? Well, for starters, it probably says some things that you'd expect, like how men should protect their wives and provide for their families. But it also delivers some pretty shocking statements on masculinity, like in Proverbs 19:22, where it says, "What is desired in a man is kindness." Now, how often have you heard somebody say, "Come on, be a man, be kind"? And there's another verse in 1 Corinthians 16 that's pretty popular. It says, "Let all that you do be done in love." Now, even though you've probably seen this verse in a Christian girl's Instagram bio, in the proper context, it's a call to men. It says, "Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong, and let all that you do be done in love." The Bible shocks the whole culture on this issue. It shocks the feminist by painting masculinity in a positive light as an intrinsically good trait for men to have. And it shocks the red pill by saying that men should use this God-given masculinity to show kindness, to be loving to others, and to seek the good of others rather than their own advancement. We live in a time where the two most dominant views on this issue both get it wildly wrong. That is why I believe it's so important for more and more voices to rise up and speak the truth about masculinity. By the grace of God, I will be one of those voices. Not to say that I have it all figured out, but that we are all on this journey through manhood together, and we are being guided by God. And all I'm doing is simply inviting you to come along with me as I explore all topics related to God, being a man, being a husband, fatherhood, and more. This is the Redeemed Pill. My name is Ethan Cody, and my goal is to help you use your God-given masculinity for His glory and for the greater good of those around you. If you enjoyed this video and are looking forward to more, please consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you next time.